you need to add this beurre meunière a little at a time. And each time you add some, whisk it in, bring it back to the boil, give it half a minute and see what thickness you've achieved. Final tip, make sure you let that sauce bubble away for 2 or 3 minutes when it's done to cook out any possible floury taste. The sauce goes over the roots, followed by an even layer of the cheese and breadcrumb mix. Incidentally, you can make a great version of this dish with those other white winter wonder roots, parsnips and celeriac. A little melted butter trickled over the top should make sure the gratin comes out with a crisp golden crust. Whew. I can hear this sizzling. It sounds sensational. The gratin is surely one of the great winter warming treats. There's a little nuttiness, a yielding creaminess, but then the flavour comes through and it's really rather subtle. There's a hint of mushroom, even truffle. They really are sensational. I'm keen to rekindle Britain's taste for rabbit. And who better to spread the word than the Women's Institute? Linda, Margaret and Stella of the Dorset Federation are going to help me throw a special WI Rabbit Night. And my friend Joe O'Leary's here to teach us all some traditional skills. I've got the tea.
And I've got the rabbits.
They're just the ones doing this. Knowing what creative and resourceful people you are, we thought you wouldn't be content just to go home with a skinned, jointed rabbit and leave the skin with us. We thought you'd want to do something with the skin. What springs to mind?
Slippers and gloves sounds good.
Yeah. Knickers and gloves?
No, knickers! Slippers!
I thought you might be onto something there. Rabbit skin knickers. That could sweeten the nation this Christmas. So, you'd each like a rabbit.
Thank you.
They've been gutted, but they have got the edible offal still in them. They've got the heart, kidneys, lungs and liver still there. And I'd really like you to save that because I've got a few plans for that. Here's the heart.
Joe skinned more rabbits than the ladies have made cakes, probably.
And once you've got one leg out, you want to start working your way up the side and...
Well, we've had experience. Yeah, we're all right.
Once the innuendo has started, there's just no stopping it, really, is there?
I'm hoping that WI Rabbit Night will help raise the profile of this delicious and healthy wild meat. And to encourage a holistic approach, there'll be competitions not only for the best rabbit cuisine, but also rabbit skin crafts. Now the rabbits are ready for the kitchen, and we're left with 5 pelts to challenge the ladies' creative skills. The first thing to do is to remove the remaining flesh and fat from the inside of the skin.
The idea is just to keep pushing this stuff off. You're pushing it off really rather than cutting it off.
To cure the pelts, Joe and the ladies rub in egg mixed with a little warm water. This keeps them soft and supple.
That's a very impressive massage technique. Are you a professional?
You'd be surprised what we do on the side.
While they're drying, the skins are stretched by hand.
There'll come a moment when you're doing this when you'll suddenly stop working this sloppy, disgusting piece of skin, and all of a sudden it will become like chamois leather.
I mean, there would have been a time when what we're doing now would have probably been second nature to all sorts of people living in the country.
There definitely are WI minutes going back to the sort of 1920s, where they record that they've made rabbit slippers and rabbit gloves.
Do you feel confident that you can transform what we've got in front of us into something genuinely worthwhile and nice?
Of course.
Yeah?
So yes.
Yes.
You've all got your meat to take home as well.
Exactly. That's crucial, isn't it? Really, you're feeding your family as well as keeping them warm.
It's funny sometimes where you find yourself in the pursuit of a good meal.
On the promise of a rare culinary treat, I've been instructed to gather a rather unusual harvest. These are the fruits of my labour. Pine needles. They're not edible, but they are flammable. And therein lies the secret of their culinary delight.
I'm off down to the beach at Exmouth with my son Oscar and his friend Will to join my French friend Natalie and her family on the rocks.
Hi there.
Hello.
We're looking for the perfect partner for my pine needles, and there's plenty of them right beneath our feet. Mussels. A mussel éclade is a speciality of the Île d'Oléron in southwest France. It's so specific to that area that not even many French people know how to do it. But Natalie knows, and I'm keen to prize the secret from her like a mussel from its shell. The next few months have plenty of R's in them and are perfect for gathering shellfish. But take any local advice going on where the good spots are and whether the local catch is free of pollution.
For what you want to do with them, is it quite important that they're all of a similar size? You don't want some small and some huge?
Correct, yes. You choose them carefully, but this side is perfect.
Oscar and Will, you know what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Go for it.
We need to fill up our buckets.
This looks like a real hotspot.
It's fantastic.
It seems the fattest mussels are lurking just beneath this overhang. They may think they're safe, but then they don't know what I've got in my bag.
Ah, you've got the equipment, yeah.
I've got the waders. Extreme muscling. Oh! And it's just quite close where the wave comes in to the limit of my waders. Woo! But there are some cracking mussels.
Okay.
Absolute beauty. There you go.
Oh, there. That's the right size.
Okay, well there's plenty of those.
We've hit the mussel motherlode, and soon we've got buckets full of bulging bivalves.
Oh, I'm leaking. Oh, it's trickling down. Careful now, Annabelle, the tide's coming in.
Yeah.
Time to get off that rock, I think.
Yeah.
So it's back to safe ground to clean up our catch. Grading the mussels, scraping off beards and barnacles, and returning any undersized specimens to the sea. It's a few hours before nightfall and the main event, which means I've just got time to purge the mussels. 20 grams of salt per litre of cold water gives a good approximation of seawater, and that'll keep the mussels happy.
A very light sprinkling of oatmeal. And that's something that they'll detect as food. They'll start filter feeding, and that's what's going to purge them of any sand, dirt or grit.
Night falls and family and friends gather to join in the construction of Natalie's Éclade de Moule.
Natalie, I think these have come up really well.
Oh, yeah.
Clean.
It's a truly ancient way to cook mussels and still a great party piece.
So what's the bit of bread for?
The first difficult bit is to put the four first mussel on the center of the board, so the bread will help to wedge them. So we need to find the four big ones.
The four biggest.
Yeah.
The mussels need to be laid on their edges with the rounder hinge side facing up.
So the straight side will open,
Yes.
and the round side
That's
will
where
be
it
the
stays
hinge.
joined up. Yes, like that. We're gonna start building up
And there's a sort of just a balancing act.
like this. Yes.
Can everyone have a go?
Yeah. Here we go.
The balancing act is helped by the fact that the mussels support each other snugly. By the time our whole catch is laid out, we've almost covered the board.
It's just so exciting. It looks beautiful at the moment.
Is that the last one?
So pine needles.
Yeah.
As we pile on the pine needles, I'm bristling with anticipation. These long double needles allow the air to circulate and make for a really fast burn. So the mussels cook quickly and won't go rubbery.
I'm just starting to be a little bit concerned about the beams and the roof.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it.
Should I light the middle as well? Yeah. Is now a good moment to open a bottle of wine?
It's a perfect moment.
All going according to plan, Natalie?
Yeah.
Okay, the roof is now completely black.
I'm slightly worried about those beams catching fire.
But in fact, the fire is so intense that it burns itself out in just 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh wow, I can see they're open. I'm getting that seafoody smell now.
The mussels have all opened downwards, so their meat is protected from the ash.
God, I'm excited.
But they're perfectly cooked, still fat and juicy.
You open them, pick them up with your teeth.
Wow, that's an absolute view. Really full of flavour. How amazing.
And you have the lovely taste from the pine needles as well.
And the taste is very different.
It's almost as if it has some garlic or something.
You're right, they taste properly seasoned. This is the best éclair that I've ever had. The fact that it's the first and the only one I've ever had, is it considered indecent to do it again the next day? We'll start drinking cider with it.
I think that'll be the next thing.
It's going to be an éclair. Éclair.
Coming up, I find out whether wine grown in London is just an urban legend